Hi, my name is Jason with AlarmSystemStore.com. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the basic programming for the Interlogix NetworX panels. This video will apply to any of the network systems, the NX4, NX6, NX8. They're all basically the same. There'll be some obvious slight changes based on the number of zones and things like that. I'll be following more or less what we have in our quick start guide that we've written for you. And if you wait till the end of the video, I'll show you how you can get that. So let's go ahead and go to the table and we'll get started on the programming. Alright, so I've got the system powered up, so we're all ready to go. First thing you're going to do is enter installer programming. To do that, you'll use *8 followed by the installer code. The default installer code is 9713. After you enter that, it's going to ask for the device address, then pound. So we're going to use device address 0 and then pound. And then you need a location followed by pound. So the first thing we're going to do is go to location 0, which is for the phone number. So here you're just going to enter a fake phone number pretty much. It doesn't really matter what you enter here. You just want the system to dial out, but it's not actually dialing to something directly. It's just dialing to the bat. So as long as it dials out, we don't care what the number is. So we're going to just enter a 10-digit number here. 1 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 5. So once you have entered the phone number that you're going to enter, you'll just push pound. So the next thing we need to do is enter an account number. This is device location 1. And again, the actual account number you entered doesn't matter because it's not what is really going to be used by the bat. So here I'm just entering 1 2 3 4. And then pound. So the next thing that we'll do is go to device location 2, and this is the reporting format, and here you want it to be on 13. It already is. This is for contact ID, which is what you want to use for the bat unit. So you'll enter 1 3 and then star. So that is all the programming that's required. So once you've completed the programming and the wiring, you're all done. So now that we know that we're on a clean slate here, first thing you'll want to do is assign the keypad number and partition. And you want to do this for all keypads. So to do that, you're going to enter *94 and then your installer code. So here you're going to enter the keypad number. So we'll just make this keypad 1 and then star and then the partition number. And again, most people are just going to do one partition, and we're not going to cover multiple partitions on this video. It will be a lot of the same general steps, but there are slight differences. So again, we're going to assign this keypad to partition 1 and then push star. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is program in the clock, and you can see it doesn't have any settings yet for the clock, so instead of showing the time and date, it actually says set clock *97. So let's go ahead and hit *97. It's going to say please enter your code, and here you'll just use the master code. Default's 1 2 3 4. Alright, so you can see it says 12:02 a.m. Right now it's about 2:30 p.m. So you can scroll through the hours. You can see it's on 12 a.m. If we scroll down, it goes to 11 p.m. If you scroll up, it stays in the a.m. until you go around again. So we'll just scroll to the 2. So we're at 2:02 p.m. Hit star, it goes to the minutes, which will now scroll up to get to 30. Star again, it goes to the day. Today's Friday. It's the 5th. And it is January, and the year is 18. Star again, and once you enter that all in, it automatically exits back out. And so now when it's scrolling through its screens, you can see Friday 2:30 p.m. January 5th. Alright, so now that we have a few basics done there, let's go ahead and go back into our main programming here, which is star 8, followed by the installer code, which is 9713. Alright, so it says enter device address. So the majority of your programming is going to be done on device address 0, and 0 basically just means the main control panel. So let's go ahead and hit 0 and then pound. And then so now that we have the main control panel selected, we just need to select a location within that. So this is kind of like a programming field or programming section. Location is kind of the same way. So the first thing that we're going to do is entry and exit delays, which is location 24. So we'll enter 24 and then pound. So now we see location number 24, segment number 1, and then it shows 30. So segment 1 corresponds to entry delay number 1. If we wanted to change it, we can. So let's say we want to make it a little bit longer. So let's say 45 seconds. So we do 45 and then star. When we push star, it goes to segment 2. Segment 2 is going to be for exit time 1. Let's make exit time 1 60 exit time 1 60 seconds. So it's already there, so we just hit star. Segment 3 is entry delay 2. Let's make this one a little bit longer, and we'll say 60 seconds, star. And then this is exit delay 2. We'll keep it on 60 seconds as well. So 5 and 6 are not used, so you can just push star a couple times to go through those. And then it exits back out and says enter location. So the next thing we're going to program is zone definitions for our hardwired zones. The location that you'll use will vary depending on the zone number. So zones 1 through 8 are location 25, zones 9 through 16 are location 27, etc. There's more detail on this in our quick start guide. For this example, we're just going to work with location 25. So we'll enter 25 and then pound. So now it's showing us segment 1. So location 25, segment 1, and it says it's a 3. So this is the default that we have here. Some common zone definitions that we have are 3, which we have here, which is entry exit delay 1. 9, which is entry exit delay 2. 5 is interior follower with auto bypass, so that's kind of what you'd use for a motion detector. 6 is instant, so like a window contact, things like that. 8 is for fire. If you're using wireless zones, you'll want to use similar zone type definitions, but they'll have tamper as well. So 17 corresponds to entry exit delay 1 with tamper. 20 is entry exit 2 with tamper. 18 is the interior follower with tamper. And 19 is instant with tamper. So those are some common ones, and those are all listed out in the quick start guide again. so you can go through, see those common ones. If you want a full list, you'll want to go to the full installation manual for the NetworX panel. So let's go ahead and leave zone 1 on 3, so we'll just hit star here. Zone 2 we'll say is our entry exit 2, so we'll hit 9 and then star and so on. So now we're on segment 3, and we can set these however we want. Change zone 4 to 5, which is interior follower, etc. Once you're finished programming all these, if you're not using them, you can enter 0. So let's say 7 and 8 we're not using. Once you have them all programmed, it goes back to enter location. Now that we have our zone definitions done, you can also turn zones on and off for various partitions, and these are kind of work similarly to our zone types. So location 26 is for zones 1 through 8, 28 is for 9 through 16, 30 is for 17 to 24, etc. Again, this is listed out in the quick start guide, but just to show you an example, let's say on this system we're just using our first 2 zones and we only have 1 partition. So what we'll do is we'll enter 26 pound, and so this is location 26 segment 1. Segment 1 corresponds to zone 1, and then there's toggle options down here. So you can see as I push numbers they turn on, as I push them again they turn off. Those are the partitions. So if we wanted zone 1 partition 2, we can turn 2 on, 1 off. If we want to active in multiple partitions, you put active in multiple partitions. That's pretty much all you need to do to set up a multiple partition system as far as the zones go. So it's pretty simple. For this example, again, most people, you just need 1 partition. So we're going to do zone 1 on in partition 1, push star, zone 2 on in partition 1, star. Now zones 3 through 8 we're not using. We can just turn those off. To do that, you just toggle the 1 off so there's nothing there. So this zone is completely ignored for all partitions. Hit star, and you do this again for each zone. So there's 7, there's 8. Once you get done with 8, it goes back out. And you'd repeat this process depending on the number of zones you're using, generally turning them on, maybe turning them off, whatever you need to do. Another thing that commonly people will want to do is make sure that these panic buttons here on the side are active. It's pretty easy to do. You'll just go to location 23, and then you want to make sure that 5, 6, and 7 are on. So we just have 5 on. So we'll make sure 5, 6, 7's on. And so that's going to make sure that all 3 buttons are turned on. Once you have your numbers that you want on, you'll just push star, and that will save the changes that you made here. It will take you to segment 2, which is different options, but at this point you can just hit pound. Now let's go ahead and go back in, talk a little bit more about it. So segment 5 corresponds to the audible keypad panic, and this is for the police. That's kind of the basic one that most people definitely want, which is why it's on by default. Segment 6 enables the fire panic, and segment 7 enables the emergency or medical is usually what it's used for. So again, let's say I didn't want the medical, I could turn that off. Maybe I just don't want the fire, whatever you want to do. Once you have everything done, you hit star to save and then pound to exit. The last thing I'm going to show you as far as basic programming goes is how to turn resistors off. So we always recommend using resistors. On a hardwired system, end-of-line resistors are fairly easy to install. Generally, it can be done even if they're not already there. You can always add them in. They're easy, like I said, to install, and they give you some peace of mind as far as the state of your wiring. We have a full video on resistors where I go into great detail about what they actually do. But it basically, for most zones, it's just going to protect you from getting a short in the wire, which will make, if you're not using the resistor, will make the zone look closed whether or not the door opens or closes, which is obviously a problem. If you have the system armed, somebody breaks in your front door and that wire is shorted, you're not going to know. It's not going to trip the alarm. So for residential cases, it's not quite as important because there's not going to be as much opportunity for somebody you don't know or whatever to tamper with the system. In businesses, you almost definitely want to use it because there's a good chance that somebody is going to be there that may want to do that. A lot better chance, more opportunities. So the way it works for the NetworX panels is you actually have to turn on an option called end-of-line resistor defeat. And you have to do this by zone type. So it's not by zone number for the NetworX, it's actually by zone type. So let's say you have just 2 or 3 zone types. You only have to go to those 3 zone types, turn on that option, and that will essentially turn off resistors for your entire system. Or maybe it's just your entry and exit doors that you couldn't get a resistor in there, so you just want to go ahead and turn it off for that. You can do that just by going to that zone type, which is zone type 3. There's a location that corresponds to it, and you can turn that option on. So, and that's the example we're going to do for this. You'll want to refer to the manual for your panel for all the different zone types. We don't have them fully listed out, but basically it's going to be within locations 111 to 169 for most of the panels. So zone type 3 corresponds to location 115. So we'll enter 115 and followed by pound. And so we can see we're on location 115, segment 1. We actually need to go to segment 4. So to do this, we just hit the asterisk or the star key until we see segment number 4. So now within here, we need to make sure option 2 is on. To do that, you push 2, the 2 shows up. So now resistor use is off for zone type 3. You'll want to hit star to save it, and then you can hit pound to exit. Once you have that done, you've gone through all the basic programming that's required. There's definitely other programming steps that may or may not need to be done. We'll be doing a video on wireless zones as well by itself, so if it's not up already, it will be up soon, or we'll have it linked in the description as well. So once you're done, you'll just hit exit a couple times and that will take you fully out of programming. One thing, you'll often see trouble conditions type stuff pop up on the screen when you exit programming initially. This is completely normal. Just give it about 30 seconds and most of those will clear out. A lot of times it won't clear out. In that case, you definitely will want to do some troubleshooting, which we'll also have a video on as well.
Alright, for those of you that want the quick start guide, which we highly recommend, it makes it a lot easier. It's kind of a step-by-step guide. Very similar to what we did in this video, even covers a little bit more than what I covered. To get to that, if you go to alarmsystemstore.com, you'll see the blue menu bar at the top and you'll go to Resources. Under Resources,
you'll see Programming Quick Start Guides. If you follow that link, you'll see a list of the different manufacturers, and under Interlogix, you'll see the NetworX panels. You click on that, it'll pull it up on the web page, and there will also be a link where you can download and print the guide. So hopefully you guys found this video really helpful. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel. We're releasing videos like this all the time. More people we have subscribed, more likes we get on videos, the more people we can reach about DIY security. So thanks for helping us out. And as always, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.